from the beautiful metaverse, and with me is her beatitude, the Right Reverend Belladonna Laveau of the Aquarian Tabernacle Church. Welcome, Lady Belladonna.
Hi, Don. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to get to talk to you.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what I'd like to do is to ask you a few questions and have you answer, which I suppose is kind of obvious because it's an interview. But could we talk a little bit about your career in the pagan world?
Sure. Like my career, I became an initiate very early. I was 20. And so I have been in the pagan community for a very long time. I was trained by a British man who had came over and like met me a couple of days after he got here. He had a bookstore in Dallas, Texas. And so I trained in his store every day. And it was a lot of fun. I really loved that man. And he gave me all the groundwork I needed. And, you know, I have studied a lot of different things over time, but he gave me all of the foundational stuff. He made me memorize all the things. You know, he gave me those good skills that were really hard to find in 1988. I mean, this was pre-internet, Don. We couldn't just go to the internet and say, hey, is there a local witch in my area? You had to run into somebody that was a witch. So I feel very blessed because he poured everything he had into me. And just gave me a really good solid foundation for when the goddess started calling me into the work. And then I've always been a teacher. Like I was the kid in the third grade when we were maybe not third grade, fifth grade, pre-algebra, where they were teaching us to solve for X. And I was like, that makes sense to me. X is basically a question mark. And so I would teach the kids in the things next to me. You know, I just really picked up fast. And I have a way of explaining things that helps people get it. And I don't take 2 hours to explain it either. I'm like right to the point. I'm very fast. So teaching just came really naturally to me. I love teaching. It's very satisfying to watch somebody grow over time. I just told Dusty yesterday, I have a student who has been with me. I mean, it's probably getting close to 10 years now. And she's really coming into her power. Like you can just see it. And it's so satisfying because she's really struggled. Like it's taken her a long time to get there. She's been here longer than a lot of people, but you know, it's so satisfying because it worked so hard, right? So I love that kind of stuff. So I built the college wise seminary and it was online. And that's how Pete met me. He was looking for somebody to run his college. And I get sentimental when I talk about Pete, so y'all are gonna have to excuse me. He was like, I've got this college that I built, but I don't have anybody to run it. And I didn't like the name of it, but I did like the name of the website. Wolstenstein Theological Seminary. I mean, not only is it a huge mouthful, but most people can't remember it. But WiccanSeminary.edu is memorable.
Yes, it is.
So I was like, we merged Wise Seminary and Wiccan Seminary because he didn't actually have a curriculum. He had a state recognized college paperwork. He had the paperwork, but he didn't have a curriculum. So he took my curriculum and his legal infrastructure and merged those together. And now we have Wiccan Seminary, and I built that from the ground up. And I mean, that was 16, 18, 20-hour days for years and working for free and not, I mean, that was a lot of work and putting all my students in on the endeavor. Like the person who is dean now, I've stepped down as dean. The person who is dean now has a master's degree in education and was the dean of education for a decade. And so I'm really proud about the fact that not only did I take this institution and make it work, right? Like it is a successful, viable. It makes money, it pays its bills, it's doing good, but it also has the first paid employee as dean of the seminary. I was like, I need you to be able to do this full time and not have a job at a school. And so we managed to be able to pay her. And that makes me really happy because I don't even draw a paycheck from the church. Like, she's the only person in the church that gets paid. The only person in Wicca I know of that gets paid. You know, it's not something that we usually do, but like a full-time salary.
Yeah.
We pay our teachers, but it's an honor.